I think with this SMT, we might not see this daily high get hit. So what's a 2R trade look like here? What about a 200 pip stop? 200 ticks. Yeah, I actually like this. So sell here.
Order submitted.
Pretty tight stop loss here. I want to see a trade down into this London low with how price is reacting right off the open. And we have SMT here with ES. ES going to be trading down towards these London lows as well. And I don't want to be in a trade at 10 a.m., like I said. So however this kind of plays out, I will close my trade before 10 a.m. because I don't want to be in the data release. So just looking for a quick little scalp here. I'll even target these Asia lows because this is pretty clean too. If these London lows get taken, this Asia low is going to get taken as well. And I know a lot of liquidity is being formed because everybody's looking at this daily high, right? Like even I was looking at this daily high. So a lot of orders are getting placed right in here, and stops are going below the London low, stops are going below the Asia low. And what's that forming? Liquidity. Liquidity to be taken. But I really like the fact we had SMT here. ES was honestly the better pair to enter because it's weaker, right? So we had ES could not take this prior high. NQ takes the high. So NQ would be the stronger pair, right? The stronger asset out of these two. So you would want to trade the weaker one if you were short. So ES would have been the better asset to trade, but I just stick with NQ just because of risk parameters and stuff. You could see that first fair value gap that formed on the 1 minute time frame. We tapped into that and we're just kind of spooling down towards these lows right now. A lot of manipulation here in price though. Like I was talking about, a lot of sweeping of the lows and the highs. We should see price kind of move pretty quickly down towards here. We got a little bit of a reaction off the midnight open price here. There's actually a lot of volatility right now. These candles are actually moving pretty decently. We haven't seen like movement like this in the past couple days. So whatever today does, it's definitely gonna run for this high or this low. But with the SMT and the sweeps of these liquidity, this liquidity here, that I'm expecting this low resistance liquidity just to be ran to. Yes, inside bar candle here on the 5 minute. ES should run and take out this low pretty easily. Got the 1 minute here. Kind of just like consolidating. See if this is, no, this is not. Okay. I was trying to see if this right here was SMT, but it was not. I can't see anything going on, bro. Got all these annotations on my chart. Looking good. Looking pretty good. Trade up into here. We trade up into this fair value gap. I'll sell one more time. Are we going to get the fair value gap tap? This could be a breakaway gap, maybe. Let's see. If I sell one more time, my stop would be above the fair value gap from the open price. I don't know if I want to.
Order filled.
Fuck it. Pulled the trigger. So now my stops need to go above here. And now I'm looking at a 1 to 2.7 risk to reward. I'm risking about $170. This scale-in was a little aggressive, I will say. This scale-in could be a mistake. Just because these are like equal highs, right? So this could get ran. Like price could come up into here still and then trade lower. So this was a super aggressive move on my part. And to be fair, like it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable having my stop loss here now. So that's something like I'll note and I'll journal and keep mental note of, like if I'm trying to scale in a trade, like be more cautious about where my stop loss would be, because I kind of just pulled the trigger pretty fast on that, because we also have this down close candle that can be tapped into, and these equal highs. But honestly, it kind of, I shouldn't be trading on the 1 minute, because this is, I kind of make this mistake sometimes. I'll drop down to the 1 minute and I'll try to look for too much confirmation, right? So we have this fair value gap and a closure below these candles. So I'm like, okay, we got to scale in again. Whereas like if I just stay on the 5 minute, right? If I just stayed on the 5 minute and kept my stop up here in a safe place with two contracts instead of three, you know, I'd feel a little bit more confident about that. Yeah, smaller time frame. See, that's why I try to stay off the 1 minute time frame, but I just got suckered into it today. If if this plays out, and we hit these lows, fine, all fine and well, but I do definitely want to keep note that, I scaled in a little too aggressively. I'm just gonna stay on the 5 minute here, looking for this 5 minute candle just to flip now and continue lower. Yes, still consolidating. Come on, NQ, not another consolidating day. I want to see it run. Run. So we still got 12 minutes until data release. Kind of chilling. We could definitely see price take out this London low in the next 10 minutes, 9:50 to 10 a.m. If this flips bearish in the next 45 seconds on this candle, we're sitting pretty good, I would say. However, you could see how these candles are forming. This is leaving behind liquidity, which is not a very good sign for my stop loss, at least. We have this candle high, and now this candle high, not taking each other out. So price either needs to spool down towards these lows, or we're in danger. 15-minute looks like this. We're tapping into this previous down close candle. Oh, just had a huge volume spike. Sweeping the highs of these candles here. Just barely didn't get stopped out. I do like this as a liquidity grab on the 15-minute. Uh-oh. There's volume coming in. Take out this high. This could be the stop loss here. Definitely possible. Price is moving today, though. Price is moving. Some volume coming in for sure. Past 2 days, we have not seen price moving like this. From 9:30 to 11, there's basically consolidation. Past 2 days. Hmm. It looks like price might wait for 10 a.m. 10 a.m. probably with the news event could take out this low here. But we'll see. I know we're kind of retesting structure here. That's why we're kind of getting so much sensitive price action. Yeah, it's a little choppy. It's a little choppy right now. I think There is a lot of volume though, because it is moving back and forth pretty heavily, right? There's a lot of ticks per second. Um, but price is kind of waiting for the 10 a.m. release right now. I could see that for sure. This 15 minutes kind of candle flipping. Mm. Yes. ES is trading up. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna close here for a small loss.
Order filled.
Take a 0.5 R loss here. Especially with data release in 4 minutes. So we download that to journal. We'll wait for 10 a.m. and look for one more setup. But I think something to note for that trade was just aggressively scaling in. Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, you just kind of accept what the market's like giving you, right? Like I wanted to see price spool down towards these lows with kind of ferocity, with force right off the open. And we kind of started to get that, but then we consolidated. But it makes sense because we got data release at 10 a.m. will probably bring the move down here or something. But the thing is, my stop loss is so close that I'll probably get slippage and I'll probably get stopped out. So we'll see. 2 minutes on this data release, and then we'll see what it brings. We might be able to we might be able to get in on something. There's two clean targets right now. I mean, we have daily highs and we have these lows, so it's very tough. Like I said, looking at the daily, we still have yet to take in the high here. We're kind of inside bar right now. If anything, I'm looking for the daily high to get taken, not this daily low, not the daily low at all. But these lows are so clean. These lows are super clean right here. You're still short? Okay. 21,431. You're going to hold? You're going to hold through the data release? Okay. Praying for you, brother. I don't know if it'll be like huge, but there is two data releases. So let's see. We could see it just slam down towards here. 5 seconds. Super aggressive move already. What would this look like? Okay. I might give it another stab. I might give it another stab after this news release like this. We do have this sweep of this high. Let's see. Just have no top wick on this candle. I don't like that. I don't like that. No top wick. And we have a volume imbalance right here, right now. Let me see. We might be able to tap into this volume imbalance and get an entry. It's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
Order submitted.
Did we get in? We did get in. However, some of my accounts actually did not get filled on that. Rip. Some of my accounts did not get filled.
Order filled.
There we go. Okay. So all my accounts are in. This will be my last stab, honestly. Last attempt at these lows. Last attempt. I like how we traded into this volume imbalance here, kind of fill this gap. These lows just look way too clean, man. Seriously. Way too clean. How much am I willing to lose in a day? My max loss would be 400. So if I took a full loss on that last trade, which I only took a half loss because I closed early. But yeah, typically I will take 1 or 2 trades a day. Usually if I win my first trade, if that first trade played out, I would have been done for the day ready, but I'll give this another try. And if I lose, then I'll be down 1.5 R, which is $300 in risk, my risk parameters. So still preserving capital a little bit, which is good. But yeah, that's just my risk parameters. This just looks like a big consolidation area just to go lower, honestly. The fact that we haven't reversed and taken the highs of the open seems like we are just consolidating to go lower, but we'll see. ES actually did take the highs on NQ. So this is SMT as well right now from the open price. You can see right here, ES has taken the high of the open, 930 open. What's funny, my original entry would still be safe. My stop loss was right above this tick right here. So we'd actually still be in this trade through the news event and everything. But it's all good. You know, you have a plan and you have to stick to it and follow your rules. You can't like hindsight and be like, "Ah, I should have held," because in the moment, I mean, you followed your plan, you had structure, right? You didn't want to be in the trade at 10 a.m. So make sure you're closing. And we closed for, a half loss. So if this trade plays out, we're looking at almost a 2R. Basically, we'll make that money back and then some. But pretty tough week to trade, man. Like I'm only up 1R on the week. And that's been like struggling for that. Yeah, 100%. If I take profit, yeah. Even if I get stopped out, if I get stopped out, I'm done for the week. If I get stopped out, then we'll run for these daily highs, and that'll be the only target of the day anyway, because I'm not looking for the daily lows, right? Maybe PM session forms some type of setup up here to go down to London and Asia low, but after yesterday's candle, after yesterday's candle formed like this, where we swept both sides of the previous daily high and low, I'm not looking for anything special today, to be honest. If anything, just this daily high will get swept, in my opinion. I don't think this low is even on the table. This low is not on the table at all. We're kind of in this range where I feel like if we take the London low, if we take the London low and the Asia low, then we'll probably trade towards the high, like in PM session. Or if we take the high in the AM session, then we'll trade down to Asia and London low during the PM session. But like I said, though, I mean, I'm just gonna follow my risk protocol and my plan, though. Like if I lose this trade, then I'll just be done for the day. Whatever price does, I'll sit on the sidelines and maybe I paper trade it, or I act like I'm in the trade, but I won't actually take it. My whole thing is just come into the market every day with like mental clarity. And once you start losing like one or two trades, like your mental starts to slowly go downhill, right? And then you're just kind of forcing things and you go more on tilt. And like, I'm not trying to go into my weekend with tilt as well, because then that's going to spill into next week and you're going to feel like you need to revenge next week. Whereas, like, you can just kind of accept your loss and know that that's just how the market is and you move on from it. There's not really any power of three forming. But what I do see from this 4 hour candle, these 4 hour candles, is all these kind of are clean lows. These are equal lows. These are clean. 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 These are all targets for like next week, right? All these lows have yet to be taken. This is the only one that's an equal low. And this is going to be liquidity. So I'm looking for just a low hanging fruit target for today. So I'm saying like sometimes you could just stay on the higher time frames if you're able to zoom in and just look at the highs and lows of the candle. You could see that these lows are vulnerable, right? Like all these highs were taken. We have this high taken, we have this high taken. Now where is price going to go? We close back in the range. Price logically can go towards these levels, right? We're just stacking the odds in our favor a little bit. I feel like this is like, a 70% chance we trade down towards these lows, right? But if we're wrong, we're wrong. We manage risk and we stay disciplined. And that's how you win in the market. I could literally just stay on this time frame and there would be enough clarity. I don't need all these annotations or anything. I could literally come in here on the 4 hour chart and just say, hey, these are nice lows that could be taken. We already took the previous low, close back in the range. Now, if this 9:30 open candle, right, the 6 a.m. 4 hour candle closed above this candle, then I'd say, hey, okay, maybe we are trading back down towards this or up towards this daily high, right? But the fact that we swept the high, closed back in the range, just tells me, hey, we want to sweep this low, maybe these low hanging fruit targets as well, right? We could even see, price trade down into, 10 a.m. low yesterday, but I don't see the previous daily low being taken all the way down here. Not on a Friday, at least, right? And already, like, I'm learning from my mistakes of my last trade. My last trade, I aggressively scaled in and my stop loss had to come down here. But now I'm just going to let this trade breathe a little bit. So, and like right now, I don't feel anxiety and I don't feel pressure with my stop loss above there. Like, I don't have like an emotional, feeling that my stop loss is not safe, right? Because now I know that if my stop loss is here, I was completely wrong about the trade. Whereas, like, when my stop loss was here, I could still be right about the trade, but I might get stopped out. And that's an even worse feeling, right? Because I scaled in too aggressively. And that was a mistake I made, and I already learned from it. Okay, so today I'm not going to scale in, or this trade, I'm not going to scale in aggressively, and I'm going to give it more breathing room. And that's a bad thing about trading on the 1 minute time frame as well, is like, you know when you have your stop loss so tight and at every PD array, you know what I mean? That's why I got off the 1 minute time frame, because look at this. If I'm treating every PD array I see like this fair value gap, if I put my stop above this fair value gap, like obviously I would have got chopped up. You know what I mean? This is just nothing, consolidation. Yeah, so 9:45 candle was actually a an inside bar candle, and we broke the low. We still have not taken a high or low of the opening range, right? So the first 15 minutes, we have not taken the high or low. We're still just consolidating here. I know there's a lot of orders down here below this 15-minute low because opening range, what is it? Opening range, 15-minute opening range strategy. That's like a big trending strategy right now. A lot of people are trading it because it's easy, right? You draw out the high and the low of the 15-minute and you look for a breakout. Cost, you still in shorts? You still holding? I'm sure he is. He is short 143. Wait, we actually have, you have 431. Okay, you're short down here. So with ES kind of trading back above the high at 930, what this is kind of telling me is that NQ is a little weaker right now because we are staying in this consolidation range. We have equal lows right here on both pairs, NQ and ES. These should be taken pretty easily, I would say. But let's see. So right there, I would have been stopped out on my last trade. So we're kind of sweeping these highs right now, all these equal highs on the lower time frames. See if we can use this as liquidity to get down to this London and Asia low. All right. Back in profit. So this is kind of like a power of three model, like within itself, right? So we have accumulation, right? Manipulation, and then distribution, right? That's all that seems to be happening right now. Consolidate, fake breakout above these highs, and then continue lower. Maybe. Or this could be a breakout. Then breakout traders would be sitting pretty if this goes up towards the highs. But I know a lot of people are wanting these highs to be taken. A lot of people are looking at these highs. But I'm looking at low resistance liquidity. Low resistance. All right. This candle just closed back in the range. 10 a.m. data didn't really bring much, did it? With both of those data releases, I expected that to kind of be an excuse for the market to trade down lower or higher for that matter. But Didn't really do that. Let's see. 30-minute looks like this. Closing here in 5 minutes. Hourly still has not taken the low or the high of the previous candle. Yeah, these are tough markets to trade, man. Like don't get it twisted at all. Like nothing's super cut and dry and clean setups. If I was if I was in drawdown right now, if I was in drawdown on my accounts, I probably wouldn't be um trying to trade this because I'm looking for more cleaner setups to get out of drawdown. But I'm basically up on my accounts right now, so yeah, that's a lot of chop though. A lot of chop. Mm. I really want to see in the next 30-minute candle this low to be taken because we're still inside the 9 a.m. candles range. And I find it very hard to believe we will sweep this liquidity again to the upside because this I'm looking at as protected highs and the opposite of low resistance, high resistance liquidity. So I think the odds are in the favor of shorts. It's just a matter of when it's going to get there. This was interesting to me though. This candle right here, this 925 candle, this volume that came in before the market. It's not super common that you see that. So that's very interesting to me. I don't know what to make out of it though, to be honest. It's just an indecision candle. My only correlation with this was it caused SMT, right, with ES. That was it. We swept the highs basically with this candle right before open. So could this be smart money getting in? Possibly. Possibly positioning themselves. But it's kind of hard to pinpoint that. All right. Got our accumulation, manipulation. Now we're distributing possibly towards here. Power of three. Cost you still holding, right? 431. 431 right here. So you're in profit. Hmm. All right. We should see price spool now. We got our manipulation. We got the liquidity. Let's spool towards our target. Yep. If I took this profit, I would be up 20 bucks, 30 bucks for the day on 20 accounts. Nice cost. You still in? Sweet. Yeah, I think at least these London lows will get ran, but the Asian lows are so close. I feel like they're both just gonna get ran through like a freight train. Everyone wanted daily highs, but we wanted low resistance liquidity. All right, these equal lows coming in. So ES is lagging behind just a little bit. I feel like ES is going to follow suit though, because right now NQ is the weaker pair with this SMT. We should burn through these lows and trade through here. $15. Let's take a look. Invert the fair value gap. Yeah. Well, okay. So my thoughts on this, right? Like, okay, these are fair value gaps. Yes. But I consider this like a void, right? And there's always like context to this, right? So in this particular situation, we have this void that formed, but what it was kind of doing was running for this liquidity here. So there's always kind of context behind it. Sometimes I won't pay attention to these fair value gaps or use it as confluence because this is just a huge run on price, right? And I can't use a specific fair value gap, right? Like I can't use specifically this fair value gap right here because it's a whole fair value gap. It's a void, right? It's huge. So even like you go on the higher time frames, this is like the fair value gap on the 1 hour, right? So I don't pay too much attention when we have multiple, fair value gaps like this. Like I wouldn't use this as a closure and then a re-enter on the inverse fair value gap. You see what I'm saying? It has to have some type of context in my eyes. Like this fair value gap was clean right here. But what we did see was price ran through and took out the high one more time on this fair value gap. But ES did not. ES did not take the high with this fair value gap. So interesting. But yeah, this was during 8:30. This was pre-market though. So I'm not like huge on taking this into context as well. I don't really like pay super close attention to fair value gaps and PD arrays formed in the pre-market. They can be useful, but I'm mostly looking at the highs and lows that were swept during the pre-market instead. The PD arrays I'm paying attention to are the ones that formed after 9:30 because those are going to be my confirmations for like entries and stuff to target the liquidity pools. But yeah, right now we're just rebalancing all of this price range right here. All right. Coming in for the lows from 10:30 to 11, just like I was talking about. ES has still yet to take out these lows, so there's still some running to be done. We have equal lows. If I was in buys, obviously, and I have my stop loss below here, I wouldn't feel safe. So these are going to get taken pretty easily. Here we are running on NQ. Move my stops to break even here. It's kind of irrelevant at this point, but obviously I don't want to see price come back. Obviously, if price comes back and you know hits break even, then we're gonna continue probably towards like daily highs and sweep like this liquidity here. But I'm gonna go ahead and probably take profit at this London low just to kind of play safe and secure some profit for the day and profit for the week. Be up 2R, 3R for the week. Now, in situations like this where we distribute hard after so we have accumulation, right? So something to note when I'm looking for price to spool. So when we had this consolidation, right, and we have this manipulation, typically when price starts spooling towards a higher time frame, liquidity, right? Price starts spooling towards these London lows. What you're going to see is all these PD arrays form, right? We have fair value gap forming. Usually it's not going to give you an opportunity to get in on this trade. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But if you look like this 15-minute here, if you tried to get in on this trade right here, it never pulled back into a fair value gap, right? This was just one big breakaway. And when price is spooling, like in this situation, we had accumulation, manipulation, now distribution. We're spooling towards this target, and there's so much liquidity that was already grabbed that price is just running straight for these lows, right? Without giving an opportunity for people to get in. That's why some people say, oh, don't trade in the range. Don't trade in the range. Well, you can trade in the range, right? But you got to have the right bias, right? You got to know like, hey, we're looking for this low resistance liquidity. We're just building more liquidity to go lower, right? This is all just like smart money. It doesn't have any more juice. So what's it do? It consolidates, it builds orders, manipulates, and then distributes. And we missed it by one tick. Should just take out these London lows. Nice. You're out. Perfect, man. Yeah, I'm gonna Let's see. We should get one more drive down here. To it and through it. To it and through it. So my original entry would have been stopped out. And this is what I was talking about earlier with my stop loss not feeling
Order
safe.
filled.
And there we hit take profit. So when I scaled in earlier, right, I initially had my entry here and I scaled in so hard that I had put my stop loss in a vulnerable spot. And we were talking about this, like it was possible that price comes up and retraces into this range a little bit before continuing down. And what happened? That's exactly what happened, right? So my stop loss was no longer valid. That's why I closed a little bit earlier. Whereas if I kept my original entry, right, and I kept my conviction and just kind of stayed off the lower time frames, that was my problem. I went to the lower time frames. I found extra confirmation to scale in, and it just didn't work out right. Like I scaled too aggressively. Whereas I could have saved the 0.5R loss if I had just stuck to my original entry. But we did have the data involved too. Yeah, of course, costs. Yeah, that's it. This is what I love, man. Like I started this small Discord community and I'm able to work with a lot of you guys that are like new here, right? Like I can give you guys a lot of one-on-one attention because 7 years in the market, like you're gonna learn some stuff, right? Like you're gonna learn how to become profitable and you see how the market works. But um it's just good to be able to help people like one on one in scenarios like this. Like, look, we only have, 6 people in here, but eventually this will probably be hundreds of people, and I won't be able to give people the one on one attention, you know what I mean? Like, I can give here. You guys can ask me questions in the chat, and like, I can trade at the same time I give advice, whereas, like, if I have 100 people typing in the chat, it's hard to give one on one attention.